What is going on, guys? NBA 2K rating recap, and I have some breaking news. Jayson Tatum is going to make his return from his torn Achilles, possibly as early as Friday. Huge news for the Celtics and for Tatum personally, as he's worked really hard to come back from his injury. Celtics will have a chance to reintegrate him with a month left before the playoffs. For the run that they're going to make. They have certainly held down the fort without him, so it should be very interesting to see what happens with him and the team over the next month or so. A little bit of a downer news in Washington is not that Trey Young is going to be making his return tonight. It's that Keyshawn George, probably out for the season, has a partial tear of his UCL on his elbow. He's going to be reevaluated in 3 weeks. There are only 5 weeks left in the season, so it does seem likely that he's probably played his last game, given that Washington doesn't really have anything meaningful to play for. So, unfortunately, we won't see the full Washington squad this year, even if Young makes his return and potentially Anthony Davis. Let's start off with our games, going over the OKC versus New York Knicks. Thunder held on 103 to 100. Shet 28 points, 8 rebounds, 6 of 11 from 3 in this one. And then Shea 26 points, 8 assists, doing what they've been doing all season long. New York, they made it interesting at the end. Josh Hart fought really hard, a lot of offensive rebounds, a lot of shots at the rim, courtesy of Jalen Brunson's passing. Brunson had 15 assists in this game to go with 16 points. Cat, 17 points, 17 rebounds, 9 of those offensive. He was 7 of 8 from the field, so this was a really good game for him, but he did foul out with about 3 minutes left in the game. Obviously, Towns not really able to stay out of foul trouble easily. He has fouled out of 6 games this year. Charlotte, their defense led them to a blowout of Boston. They moved to 32 and 31 now on the year, so they continue to surge in the standings. 118 to 89, they blew out the Celtics. Khan leading the way with 20, Brandon Miller and LaMelo adding 18, and then Kobe White was back in the lineup. He had 17, definitely got the better of Peyton Pritchard in this one. Pritchard, he was scoreless, 0 for 6 from the field in 24 minutes. Jaylen Brown, he made his return, had 20, 11, and 7. Tristan Vukovic also struggled off the bench, 4 points, 2 for 10 from the field. Derek White, he led the way with 29. He and JB were the only players in double figures for the Celtics. Derek White, he was the Eastern Conference Defensive Player of the Month. Celtics were the only team with a better defensive rating than the Spurs. He's averaged 1.7 blocks and contested 75 shots during February, despite being a 6'4 guard. So he's actually somebody I have, one of the only guards I probably have Paint Patroller on. I think I have it on him. Yeah, and then High Flying Denier, I have a gold badge on him, as he's probably the best shot blocking guard in NBA history. Going over to the Sixers, they were very short-handed, missing 4 starters, but they pulled out a win against the highly motivated Utah Jazz, or demotivated, however you want to discuss that. They moved to 34 and 27 on the year. Maxey leading the way with 25. Jabari Walker with a season-high 22 points. He had a season-high 20 in his last game, so 75 plus 1 for Jabari Walker. That's actually plus 3 from the 2K roster. I say that. There is an update required floating around down there. The 2K roster did update today, so I will check that out after this video. We'll see if Walker and others went up. Adem Bona, he got the start in this one after Andre Drummond's horrendous play in the last game. Essentially, Drummond tanked his starting job within 5 minutes against Victor Wembanyama. VJ Edgecombe was out with the sore back, so Quentin Grimes got the start. And then Kelly Oubre also missed another game due to illness, so Trendon Watford actually got the start at small forward in this one. Utah, not a lot of notes for them. Keontae George had 30 in this one to kind of duel it with Tyrese Maxey. And then Ace Bailey, he had 12 points, but on 5 of 16 shooting, his efficiency is still kind of waxed and waned. I've settled on power forward shooting guard as his position. Is obviously Laurie's going to play next to Jaren Jackson Jr., and Ace has been starting for at the 4 mostly over the last month or so. And so even though I would consider Laurie the 4 when those guys play together, like for the fully formed version of this team, I think this kind and for what they're doing during this year as well, I think that just kind of makes the most sense positionally. Maybe I'll change it in a week. Who knows if the Jazz change their lineup at all. Going over to Portland, they got a nice win, 122 to 114 over the Grizzlies. They're now 30-33 on the season, finally getting that elusive 30th win. Still clawing their way up through the play-in, although they don't really have much competition from the 11th spot. I think that's the Grizzlies. 7-game gap between them and the Blazers. Drew Holiday, 35 points, 11 assists, 13 of 19 from the field, 8 for 11 from 3. Probably the best offensive game he's had in quite a number of years. Jeremy Grant, 30 points. Those two have been carrying it for Portland of late. Chris Murray was out due to illness, so Scoot did get the start in this one, but he struggled with 8 points. Donovan Clingan, only 16 minutes in this one. He was ejected in the second with a flagrant 2. So Time Lord stepped forth, 20 points, 11 rebounds, 3 blocks, huge double-double in only 23 minutes. It's a big part of why I have him at an 80 overall. He is just that efficient, even though he plays such limited minutes due to his injury history. Memphis, they dropped to 23-37. Still have half their team out. Jalen Wells, 24 points to lead the way. Gigi Jackson with 20. Ty Jerome and Scottie Pippen Jr. were both out, so Javon Small and Ryan Rupert were the starting backcourt. Rupert just signed a two-way after they converted Prosper. Worth noting that the deadline to sign two-way contracts has now passed, so that's why a lot of guys were getting added during the week. All teams have a full, all 92-way slots have been filled, and given that teams can't sign anymore, expect those players to mostly last until the end of the season. Maybe the only player who really gets converted after that is like a Ron Harper Jr. Celtics need to fill out their roster as they have some open roster spots. I actually have what's it called? This two-way dupe spot is actually John Tanje. They converted him back to a two-way, but I left him on a standard contract for the moment, just because if not, anytime you back out of the roster or save the roster, it's going to prompt you on what is you're missing X number of players on X team, and I don't want to get prompted every single time I save the roster. So I also left Delano Banton here for much the same reason. I just applied him with injury instead, just because I don't want to get prompted for having too few players on this team. The Celtics are allowed to be under the roster minimum for 2 weeks. So when that 2-week period is up, they'll most likely either convert Ron Harper Jr. Or just sign 2 other players, maybe Banton and another guy, to 10-day contracts just to get them through that period, then go without players for another 2 weeks, and then finally at the end, most likely convert Ron Harper Jr. for the playoffs and anybody else that they so desire on their roster. So that's probably the only 2-way contract change that I expect moving forward. Going over to Atlanta, they won their 5th straight, basically eliminated the Bucks from play-in contention by beating them 131 to 113. A team effort, 6 players in double figures for them. Jalen Johnson with 20, Alexander Walker 23, Okongwu with 21. Jonathan Kuminga was out with knee soreness in this one. Don't forget he is coming back from an injury. Wasn't just sitting out for shits and giggles with the Warriors. Bucks, they dropped to 26-35. Giannis, 24 points. KPJ, I didn't sideline him, but out due to knee swelling. Keep an eye on that. They'll probably be cautious with him. Ryan Rollins, 18 points, 12 assists, 3 steals. Ousmane Dieng, 14 points in 28 minutes. He continues to start. Kyle Kuzma was back in the rotation. He had 16 points, 7 of 8 from the field in 22 minutes, so looking like he wants to stay in it. Bucks are now 5 games behind Atlanta for and Charlotte for 10th place essentially. So this was a must-win game for them. They didn't get it done. Giannis essentially coming back a little too late to really make any type of meaningful run. Pacers, they matched up with the Clippers. Essentially, we're donating them a win because their pick is going to go to them if it ends up in the 5-9 range. Clippers still fighting for the play-in. So actually, let's start with them. They 130. They beat the Pacers 130 to 107. Benedict Mathurin got his revenge. Had 23 points. 8 of 11 from the field off the bench. Darius Garland continued to come off the bench in his second game with the team, 12 points, 8 assists. Kawhi leading the way with 29. And then Pacers, they got the loss that they were desiring, even though they brought a bunch of guys back. Pascal Siakam, Andrew Nemhard, Aaron Nesmith, they all made their returns to the lineup. Zubats did not against his former team. Siakam, 29 points. Jay Huff had 18. Everybody else kind of meh. I think Nemhard went 1 of 8 in like 18, 19 or so minutes. Nemhard 1 for 5, I think. So at least one guy played well upon his return. Let's pack it in. I'm going to check out this 2K update now. I have a little bit of errands to run before I accomplish that, but yeah, I will. I will be breaking that down. Maybe posting some of the badge changes and stuff to Operation Sports later on, as I seem to have fixed their forum. Like it really didn't load for me on my browser over the last couple months or so, and I've noticed the forum is more or less dead. So maybe I'll try to bring it some life. We'll see. I will talk to you guys later. Peace out.